Hey, welcome everybody back to Hurdlers of Adversity, Inspirers and Maximizers of Pivotal Moments. I'm your host, John Register. Wow, do we have a great guest for you today? We are on about a half an hour later because I was on doing another show. And so I just kind of pushed it. So hopefully y'all are jumping back on. Thank you so much for all the listeners. And I know after this actually happens, we get more and more people that come on, but something's going on with Facebook today. So I'm not sure what that's happening. I've been trying to get on all day and it's just been not happening. So anyway, let's get ready to get live with this Inspires and Maximize of Pivotal Moments. We are on April the 8th and it is Girl Me Too Day. So we're going to talk a little bit about that with our guest. And we are still in Amputee Limb Loss Awareness Month. I was on a show out in Portland, Oregon, virtually, of course, this about a few minutes ago, talking about Amputee Limb Loss Awareness Day and how we turn from fear to freedom. So I want to know where you're watching from. So when you get a chance to rewatch this, put in the stream, put that back in there. I want to know where you're watching from. And before we get to our first guest, can you name our last guest? Can you name our last guest? I want to put that in the chat box because you should be able to do it. If you just say the name of the show, you should be able to get who it is. So we got Lynn. Keir is on. Thank you, Lynn. So excited to have you on today. Something's going on with our Facebook channel. I'm not sure. It's just saying it's not going out on the feed. So not sure what happened. 2 weeks ago was LinkedIn was doing the same thing. So gremlins are in there. So Lynn, I have the question out there. Can you name the guest from last week? I know you should be able to do it because you always are able to do it. Tracy, what's happening, Tracy? Good to see you as well. Go Hogs. We almost did it. John Register is right. Have you ever named yourself or just did a Google search on your name and then you finally meet somebody that has your same name and then you interview them? Wow, that was pretty unique and popular for me, at least. So please share with your tribe what's going on this show and get it out. We've been having some amazing conversations. So always go to my pinned timeline wherever you're looking because we've had some rock star shows. I mean, we've had Olympians, we've had Paralympians, we've had great leaders. Hey, Richard, thank you so much for coming on. Richard Bitters over at the Olympic and Paralympic Museum. We just had the first event. I did the inaugural event that they had in the building, and we were talking live to a group. Can you believe that? We were back live. It was to Air Methods. They give air support for those that might be injured on the ground, and they give them to the hospitals. They're all over the country, and I was life flighted when I had my injury, so I was very thankful to speak to them, and we had a great time. Richard Biddles, thank you for setting up the whole shop over there. You do amazing work, and I can't wait to do more events at our Olympic and Paralympic Museum. So put in the notification on future shows, and please when we archive them, make sure you're watching them and sharing them out with your tribe. So I know, folks, I'm looking at who here's online. You all know who I am, so I'm not even going to go into it. But I do have this Riches to Rags, the Riches story. Lost a leg through a freak hurdling accident and then went on to win a Paralympic silver medal. So if you want to check the storyline out, just go to my website, www.johnregister.com. However, the business model we have now is we help business professionals amputate fear, embrace a new normal mindset to win the medals that are in their lives. So that's what we're talking about with Air Methods a couple of nights ago, and just what a fantastic organization. So our guests on the show have done really great work in their lives. They've done similar, and so I don't bring anybody on who's actually hasn't lived through some experience and now is giving back to others. So let's meet our next guest for today. She is no stranger to the show. She's been on at least twice. I think I had her as a cameo, and then I had her as a guest. She is the author of the winning book, How Exceptional Black Women Lead. She served as the youngest executive director for the National Council of Negro Women, a historical membership organization touching the lives of over 4 million African descendants worldwide. Wow. I want to get into this conversation with her because she is just brilliant. I met her in May or June, I think, of 2020 when I needed a boost. I had a lot of inbound sales or inbound sales that I was doing work from. But then when COVID hit, inbound wasn't happening, Captain. So I had to flip the script. And she was really one of the ones that was in my inner circle that helped me to move forward and, kind of put the confidence back in. I knew I was going to move forward, but you just need to surround yourself with people who are going to push, and they're going to say, I'm not going to accept no. You can do this. And I was like, okay, yes, ma'am, let's go. And she really pushed me into that space. And you just need to surround yourself. So for that, I am forever grateful on her kind of pushing into that confidence. Today, she's going to let us in on her little secret. We'll do that in one of the questions. So please welcome back to the show, Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, John. You know, I love being on your show.
Well, I love having you on because, sometimes you get people that you ask them a question, they say, how you doing? I'm fine. you gotta work. You gotta work.
Unfortunately, I probably have the opposite problem for you, but that's okay.
You definitely got a gift for gab, that's for sure. And I love it because what's coming out of your mouth is just like, no, I can't write fast enough, right? I got to get more and more and more. So we have Tracy Keys is on, we have Lynn Kears on. So let me shout them out before we even get going here, because these are staples, right? Lynn Kears always on, just a staple. She's been on the show before. I got to get her back on because she's a rock star as well. We got Tracy saying hi, John. She's from the University of Arkansas. She's trying to get my daughter to go there for law school. Got Lynn Kears again, and then we got Tracy Keys. She's my rock star admin assistant. She's phenomenal. And then Richard Biddles over the museum, Olympic and Paralympic Museum. So thanks everybody for being on. We're going to have a fantastic conversation. Share this out right now because you're not going to want to miss this, because we're going to be talking a little bit about the reopening. But first, what is up with this Girl Me Too Day? Did y'all already have a month?
Yeah, we do. Hey, we'll work the whole century. Come on.
Oh my gosh. I saw that. I said, what's going on? It's like Father's Day. It's like Mom's Day comes up, flowers and the arrangements and let's go to dinner and all this stuff. Dad, here's your tie, Dad. Here's your cologne. Here's your Old Spice.
Yeah. Well, you want me to talk against that?
No, because then you lose all your followers.
No, seriously. I think it really is about, women do have a very particular experience, and there are moments where, we want to sort of recognize and really put under the spotlight a moment for women to be able to feel comfortable expressing themselves about their particular experiences. And I think this is one of those days that allows women to say that, hey, whatever you're going through, is particularly if you're going through a traumatic event like that, you're not alone. And so I think that's really what that's all about.
Yeah. I just thought after you have a month and then you kind of go back to reality and you all come back and say, girl, me too.
Sorry.
But I'm just messing. I think the guys need a day.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and here's why I was thinking of this, because for the first time, my daughter, we had a guest, we had a house guest, and she's becoming an OT, an occupational therapist. And so she was interning here, and one of my high school friends, her daughter came to stay with us. So she was there for three months, and they got me watching The Bachelor.
Mm-hmm.
So I was watching, and I'm with Matt James all the way, going with them. Go Matt. And then they had that whole incident that happened around Antebellum and this whole thing. I was like, whoa, that just took a left turn. So now I'm really in it. I'm watching hard. And they had, I don't remember the host name, but they had a different host come out for kind of one of the last shows.
Mm-hmm.
And he went from kind of this clean cut. He said, and the black people in the audience caught it. I don't think anybody else caught it, but he was on the couch and he said, bruh. I said, oh. He just said that all season.
Exactly. Well, who was he going to say it to? Nobody.
Nobody. So he said, bro, I said, then that's the day we need.
Yeah, exactly. No, I completely, in all seriousness, I completely agree with that. And really, when you think about this from a corporate perspective, per se, that's what affinity groups are all about. And I mean, you need places where people have like experiences, can come together and really exhale and be able to share their truths and not feel like they need to continue to unpack and explain to people who don't have that experience, because that in and of itself can in some ways be almost kind of re-traumatizing. And at minimum, it's emotional labor, right? And so having the ability to be around like-minded people, but not only like-minded people, people who have a common background, a common experience, a common ethnic or some other experience that you can all bond around, and there's no need for explanation, is important. And those spaces are necessary for men just like they're necessary for women. I truly believe that.
I agree 100%. I wasn't going to go this way, but I am because we're here. So I have a fraternity brother who just made sergeant here in Colorado Springs. And I'm so proud of him. He's done the work and he deserves it. He's really sharp. He's a referee in the neighborhood and things. He does referees basketball games, football games. So he's just got this mindset of, let's fair equity and treatment stuff. And I always have him check out my cars when I go on a long trip. Right. So my son went down to Texas to go see his daughter. And he's driving back in the rental car, going back to San Antonio to go catch this flight back because he spent the weekend with his daughter. And they've had a great time. And he's followed 10 miles by the police.
Oh, my God.
So now, everybody, 10 and 2, I'm not going to do anything wrong with rollers behind me.
Right.
And so they do pull him over for failure to lane change signal. Right. And, I know he did everything right. Right. But they're looking for anything to stop this black man. So he pulls over. They play good cop, bad cop. Good cop is, we're going to let you off with a warning for failure to signal. Here's your ticket. And bad cop says, sir, could you get out of the car, please?
Whoa.
And John says, like I would have done, just like under his brother, for a lane change and hand on gun.
Oh my God.
Unstraps holster. Sir, please step out of the car.
Oh my.
Are we having a trial on this stuff right now?
We are. And, it reminds me. So, for example, you have a mentorship mate who has a new app that he's launching that's called Safe Cop Stops. And it's specifically for situations like that. Because of its geo mapping, your son would have known his rights in that state. And we all know how crazy Texas is. But beyond knowing your rights, it would automatically start not only filming what's happening, it would automatically alert up to 10 people that he would pre-program in to let them know, hey, I'm being stopped. I want you to be an eyewitness for me. And it'll also immediately upload everything to a cloud. So even if the cops, for example, took his phone, that evidence would still be there. I mean, it's a shame that we have to go to these extreme methods. And even that, there's no guarantee, honestly, that it will save your life, but it certainly helps, I think, to know for police to know that they are being watched in those situations where they can't have this sense that they can just unilaterally trample on someone's rights and no one will ever know what happened. It is a shame that there is a need for something like that, but it certainly is. And the sad situation is that, I'm hoping that we have some level of justice, at least with the Chavanaugh case. But the reality is, even if we do that, unfortunately, that would be the exception and not the rule.
Well, I have another. I'm not going to go that way, but I have actually my cousin is a police officer up in that area, and he's actually testifying in that case right now. So, yeah, it's a wild situation. The finality of it is on the good cop, bad cop is. They told him as he's at the back with the good cop, the bad cop says, well, we're from a special unit, so we can search your car without your permission.
What?
So what are you going to do? Right. That's the power violation. And we know that getting a person out of a car is not really all about that. It's about the neighborhood I'm in. Let me show you that we are on our job to make your community safe. So as people are passing by from the community saying, good job, Mr. Officer, you're doing a great job because you're keeping our community safe from people like that.
Yeah, it's harassment. I will say it. It's racism.
It's racism, for sure.
And here's the situation. So, for example, I just saw a new survey that came out, a new study that came out today, for example, that looked at the people who stormed the Capitol on January 6th. No big surprise. The researchers, through their survey methodology, said that the driving motivation was in essence, racial anxiety. That's what they called it. I call it racism, fear of the changing demography in this country. But also one thing that did surprise me was the vast majority of the people were actually from Texas. So, there's, no offense to people from Lone Star State, but y'all got some work to do down there.
That's funny. Yeah, it's just the only thing that saved him in this instance was he was in a place where he had gone to school. It just happened to kind of cross when they trailed and they got him over to the county line where he actually went to school and Southwest Texas State Junior College that was there, played basketball, but also officiated their boss's son's game.
Wow.
So he just name drops the person, and guess what? All of a sudden, everything stops.
My goodness, he doesn't know. It saved his life.
That saved his life. Could have saved his life. And that's the terror, right? That's the day we need, bro.
Exactly. Yes, you're right. And so the story for examples like that, and so many others. That's why I definitely believe there needs to be spaces where people, especially Black men in particular, who are disproportionately likely to have those experiences, are able to come together and share with one another and really get it. So I like that thought, bruh. That we got a moment like that. We can just
we're gonna make that after Girl Me Too Day. We're gonna get bruh. Absolutely. So let's spill the secret. What's the secret?
Oh my goodness. The secret is you can have it all, right? You can have it all. I think oftentimes we are told, particularly those of us who are professional go-getters, very ambitious, and especially this is told to women, that you can't have it all. And for me, that is a big, bold lie, okay? You can have it all. The secret is you have to decide what your all is. It has to be your all specifically, and not what someone else wants to impose upon you in terms of what they believe your life should be. I think also understanding that there is no real thing as work-life balance. I don't think of it as some sort of scale where there needs to be equilibrium all the time. That will drive you crazy, nuts. It's impossible. I think instead, I like to think of my life as a woven quilt, something that's like crocheted, something that's woven. And within that tapestry, there are several parts of you and several sides of your, interests. So it will include your career, it will include your family, it will include you time, it will include hobbies, it'll include all of that woven together. You just have to decide what your priorities are and make time for each one of those at different stages in your life, or maybe even different times of the day or year. Certain pieces of that will get more of your attention. But the bottom line is it can all coexist, and don't beat yourself up if you don't feel like it's all at the same level all the time, because that's an illusion. That's a lie. That's not even something you need to try to worry yourself to strive for.
So illusion and tapestry. Okay, so I want to go back to tapestry on this. What in this past year did you add to your tapestry, to your loom, to your weave?
Did I add? I would say the biggest thing that I added, it's not new, but it was like hyper growth in my business. I guess I would call that as an add, because it did require a lot. It required adding a team, growing my team tremendously, about 3xing my team. It required sort of being more creative in terms of new things that I tried and trusting myself to try those new things. But also it also included being very intentional about creating some way to recognize those accomplishments, like different accomplishments and milestones that I hit there. Like oftentimes for a lot of people who are driven, who are ambitious, who are go-getters, we typically just move from one thing to the next thing, to the next thing, to the next thing. And we don't take time to pause and acknowledge our accomplishments. And so we just are completely on 1,000 all the time. And one of the things that I really was very intentional about doing is when I hit certain milestones in my life, or that I have been striving for in any way, it could be personal, it could be professional, take a moment to celebrate that. It could be as small as having a piece of and German chocolate cake that, I can't have all the time, but it's, hey, I love it, right? It's like giving yourself permission to do that. It could be something larger, like buying yourself this, purse that you've had your eye on for a while, whatever it is. I think that we should take moments to acknowledge and celebrate our accomplishments when we hit key goals and aspirations that we have, as a way of acknowledging that, taking a breath, and then moving forward.
Girl, me too. I was waiting to get that one in there.
You got me.
So we were talking with Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever. Oh my gosh, I'm just so enthralled. If you have a question for Dr. Avis, please type it in the chat box. I would love to hear what your thoughts are right now. Please shout her out on your timelines, wherever you're looking. I think I see a lot of folks on LinkedIn. So she is definitely on LinkedIn. So push her out there because she is offering tremendous value. You talked a little bit about before the tapestry into what might be things that are illusions.
Yes.
Illusions. And one of the things that I've been sharing with audiences is this illusion of certainty. Over the past year, people have been always talking about these are such uncertain times. And well, the opposite of uncertainty is certainty.
Yeah.
But if we had certainty, we would have known that this was coming.
Right.
We had something. What do you think? How would you articulate to other individuals? How do you articulate to other individuals that the illusions that are out there and how to knock them down?
Yeah. Well, I would just like to say, I think really the biggest thing I like to relay to people is that you can design the life that you want. So to me, yes, there are lots of illusions that exist. The secret is to not to be distracted by them and to be very clear to your own vision for what you want to create with your life. I have to say I've lost a couple of friends this year, way too young. And the most recent, many of you might know, because you might have seen her quite often on MSNBC, Midwin Charles, MSNBC commentator, not even 50 yet. Had another soror that I went through graduate school with also, like, I don't even think she was 50. If she was maybe just 51, passed. And so when things like that happen, people literally cut down way too short in life, accomplish just powerful people doing good in the world. It's heartbreaking, but for all of us, it should really help us to really recenter ourselves on what our purpose is in this life, and to not let other people's visions of what they think we should be doing, or other people's criticisms, or other people's limited thinking, construct a box around what our possibilities are. It's really about understanding that you have the power to create the future that you want, and to be intentional each and every day about doing that, because none of us know when that last day will come. And I think the biggest tragedy of life is to face that day knowing that you should have had the courage to do something, but you didn't even try, And so really, the big illusion is the word can't. The big illusion is the word realistic. The big illusion is believing that you have to please somebody else. The bottom line is it's your life. It's your life by your design, if you're bold enough and courageous enough to live it.
Talk a little bit more about the realistic. Why is that the illusion? I hear it all the time.
Yeah.
Just be more realistic.
I hate that word. Honestly,
girl, me too.
Seriously, for real, that's a good one. It's applicable in both situations. And bruh, right? I hate that word. One of the first things I tell my clients is to completely reject it out of your vocabulary. To me, the word realistic is a permission slip for you to dim down your expectations for yourself. It's your permission slip to think small, right? So for me, when I really think about my life, when I think about, for example, the life of my father, when I think about the life of some people that you read about in the history books, was what they accomplished actually realistic? I mean, obviously, for a lot of people that lived at that time, they probably said absolutely not, but they did it anyway. And I think we need to take a lesson from that. I think it really allows you to excuse make about why you can't without even trying. And so, because of that, I really am very intentional about not including it in my thoughts or in my vocabulary when I speak to people. I am very straight up with people on the first time I speak with my clients to completely throw it out the window. Because if there's one thing I know that you can achieve the impossible if you are committed, strategic, persistent, and courageous. When you have that combination, realistic is nothing. It's completely an illusion.
Well, you have been thank you for sharing that. I got a million thoughts in my head on where I want to go with this next. I eventually want to get to how you have been able to transfer or transform people's lives. Well, you don't do it, but you give them the roadmap, the blueprint to put into action. So those that are making maybe 5 figures to 6 to mid 6 figures, and now 6 to 7, because you're growing, now you're teaching back. I love that model of when you achieve, then you give back to others and show the blueprint and the roadmap of it. And it is no illusion. You can do it. You can actually make it work. What do you think are the three necessary I guess it's attributes that a person needs to start that journey?
I think first of all, you have to have vision and true belief in your vision without allowing other people to dim your light. Okay, that's one quality. Because here's the thing, nobody sees what's in your head in terms of what you are striving for, but you. And you can explain it till the cows come home. But nobody's going to really see it like you see it. Nobody's going to really understand it like you understand it. And some people who love you the most and who, because of their limited thinking and because of their disbelief that they can do it, want to project what they see as impossible onto you. So the ability to maintain true to your vision, truth and fidelity to your vision is very important. I think
that's serious.
Absolutely. It's hard for a lot of people because they get people that they care about in their ear, and all of a sudden they start to doubt themselves.
Yeah. The vision is, my mother used to always tell me, the vision is yours and yours alone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
1000% true. Absolutely.
You can't give it, no one can carry it for you.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And I truly believe it's there for a reason. It is part of your purpose.
I love Tracy. She's saying repeat that. Tracy, do you mean repeat that like, oh my gosh, repeat that, say that again, or I didn't hear that, you need to repeat that? So I got it. I need to know which one it is. And then Lynn says, so many lessons. Thank you, Dr. Avis. Fantastic. Okay, that's lesson number one. That's our number one. What do you? So vision. We got vision.
Vision. The next is strategy. Strategy. You have to have a plan. Not to say that the plan can't be altered, but what I'm saying is that I don't believe in the shotgun method. That's what I mean by that. Okay, let's have a little focus. Okay, on what we're doing. Okay.
She said both. All right, we're gonna get there, Tracy. Tracy says both. I need both of them.
I hope I remember what I said. That's a problem.
She said, girl, me too. I need both.
Real. So get a strategy together that will get you from where you are to where you want to go, that will make that vision real. And sometimes you can figure that out yourself. Sometimes you need help with someone that's further along the path that can help you solidify that strategy. I personally don't believe in reinventing the wheel. So for myself, I am a complete believer in professional development. Have it as a constant part of my budget that I have used every year for now going on a decade. And I think that it's helped me get further faster because I'm not reinventing wheels.
Yes.
I'm getting access to, experience that someone else has had that can help me take the shortcut, right? in a strategic way. Okay.
Absolutely.
Strategy is important.
So Tracy says, preach. You got amen corn over here going on. Amen. She's on the mother's board. Hey, go girl. You know you good. Keep on, baby.
Oh, love her. Oh my goodness. So yeah. So the vision, the strategy, and absolutely the action. Absolutely is absolutely necessary. Right. There are people that'll get caught in the think about it stage. That'll get people that will want to analyze or want guarantees and like, are you sure this is going to work before they take action? And there will be people that will continue to just always want to learn. And that's particularly true for people that are very, all the degrees. And I'm saying that with the degree on my wall. But what I'm saying is that the biggest lessons you will learn by actually implementing the plan, not really studying the plan. All right. So you have to move from plan to action in the shortest time possible. You have to truncate the amount of time between learning and implementing, and that helps to move you much, much faster down the road.
I love that. Vision, strategy, action. Vision, strategy, action. We're talking with Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever. You can see why I love her on the show, because she just be dropping bombs. Just bombs. Bombs, right? Different connotation. See, I said it differently.
You did.
Different connotation. I said, bruh, right? It's a different one. We know. It's a different connotation. So I want to, when you're talking about vision, strategy, action, here's what's been kind of, and before we get to that, so shout her out, put her in the chat, keep on doing it. Tracy says, Truth would love to connect with her. Okay, she wants to connect.
Absolutely.
Needs her friendship. No, you're gonna get more than friendship, girl. Be careful what you ask for, because I found with John Register, the last guy I had, if you get another one of Dr. Avis, you might as well just, I don't know, you're gonna blow up. Hey, one's enough. Oh my gosh. I was really kind of getting ticked off a little bit, right? I was really getting upset because people are putting all this faith in this shot, this vaccination. One shot, you got the Moderna, you got the Pfizer, you got the one shot Johnson. All these things are going on right now. And so the world is kind of opening up a little bit. The people are poking out and, getting their toes wet, or my case, my 5 toes I got left wet. And I was starting to get ticked off because, the vision, the strategy, the action, and the work I did to not just for myself, it was how can I serve my customers during this time?
Right.
It was really, I was doing a lot of work to try to figure that out.
Yeah.
Because as I'm hurting and I know they're hurting, how can I offer that support?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Throughout the time of COVID. And now some of my, speaker buddy friends that kind of checked out during that time, they want to come in with this olive branch saying, "Hey, we made it through COVID. Let's talk about how we can be motivational, inspirational." Well, I'm like, where were you?
For real.
So, I kind of want your thoughts on, talk me off the cliff.
No, stay on that. I say, honest, I'm not going to talk you off of that because you were courageous. You were courageous. You went out there and did it under the most difficult circumstances that any of us have ever seen. None of us alive have seen a situation like we've experienced with this worldwide pandemic. My mother is 92 years old and she wasn't even alive when we had the last one. Okay. Mm-hmm. So you took this very unknown situation that not only had tremendously tragic health effects, it completely turned the economy upside down. And we're still sort of recovering with that. And in the middle, you didn't give up. You didn't raise the white flag. You kept pushing until you unlocked the code. And while those people were over in a corner someplace cowering, you were out here working, right? You were out here living up to your mission to inspire people, to motivate people. So it seems to me kind of hollow when you've been sitting in a corner for months. I don't know what they were doing, sucking their thumbs, waiting it out, what they were doing, or whatever they were doing. I'm
gonna keep it PG.
I'm sorry. I'm a little brash, y'all. He should have warned you. You should have warned him, John. I'll hold back. Okay. I don't know what they were doing. saying it ain't inspirational.
Bruh.
When the hardest part of this, when the stuff was up in the fan, hitting the fan, they were MIA, and you were out here still pushing, inspiring, doing those things that you would expect a motivational speaker to do. It's not very motivating to come back when all of a sudden it seems, almost like anybody can do it now. Come on now, please. Really? I'm not impressed.
No, I mean that. I don't know. It hurts me. It hurts my heart for the business, right? Because this the time when I know I've got my soapbox now. I'm thinking if you're an inspirational speaker, motivational speaker, this is the time to motivate. This is the time to inspire.
And you're 100% correct. And here's what I would suggest to you, JR.
Thank you. Now let me start writing.
No, I would say lean into that. And this is true, I think, for entrepreneurs, period. I have a mentor that talks about this concept of conviction marketing, and I believe she's exactly right. I mean, to me, that means not just going out here doing what everybody else is doing, not only relying on giving tips based on your expertise, but when you feel strongly about something, say it, lean into it. If you feel that your industry is doing something that's wrong, that's counter to what you believe is right, be the one that's bold enough to say it. And that will resonate with people who see the truth in what you're sharing. And that will also, in this particular instance, differentiate you from these latecomers. Now, is that always the easiest thing to do? No, it may be a tad controversial. But I do think that, number one, it will be in alignment with your true beliefs and your, ethos, because you did the work. I mean, you had the bona fides to prove what you're talking about here. And I think that it will also controversy is oftentimes a good thing for business if it's not crazy controversy. Mm-hmm. But you are speaking a truth here that I think some people would really say, oh my goodness, that's exactly right. And so to me, I say, don't hold your tongue on that. That's call them out. What you're saying is absolutely true. While you were out here in the belly of the beast, right in the heart of the pandemic, when people really didn't understand everything about what was going on, you were still pushing. How is it motivational for these Johnny-come-latelys to come out now after they've been sort of, fully, vaccinated? And the world is getting back to normal. And now you want to talk about, oh my goodness, let's inspire. Well, people at this point, why would they even listen to you?
Yeah, I am. I'm moving into that space. I got some strategies. Number two, I got a vision, I got a strategy. I'm about to take some action on it.
I love it.
All right. What is it that we have not talked about that you have going on right now that it might be a blind spot to me that you would like to share that's of value to this group that's listening right now?
Yeah, so this is just another thought that's on my mind that kind of continues our discussion around business. And you mentioned how both of our businesses have grown really well during the pandemic. Mm-hmm. We didn't lean out of the situation; we leaned into the situation. And strategically and grew, right? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I know that just for all the entrepreneurs on here, I just recently did a talk about this with my clients. And I think this is an important message for entrepreneurs to hear, because no matter where you are in your business, you always want to get to that next level, whatever that looks like for you. So if that next level for you is hitting six figures for the first time in your business, or if that next level for you is hitting 7 or whatever it may be, I want you to know that the first one is the hardest, right? The first 6 figures is the hardest. Okay. After that, now you understand, you understand what's required, and it has, by the time you have achieved it, it's now been hardwired into what you do so that it becomes normalcy. Okay. Mm-hmm. The first 7 figures is the hardest. And so, just thinking about, you were talking about how my business spoke earlier about how my business has grown over the past year and 20 in the heart of the pandemic and beyond. It took me really years to develop a 7-figure business where I had a 7-figure in 1 year, 1 calendar year business. And so it took me years to do it. I did it in that year. This year, it's accomplished in the first quarter. So what I want you to understand, the first one is the hardest. All right. So if you are feeling discouraged, if you're feeling like, oh my God, this will never happen to me, understand, first of all, you need a new strategy. Okay. Because what if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. But once you have the strategy followed by the action, okay, that will get you the results to allow you to pierce through that ceiling, know that more is on the way. So I just want to encourage you to keep going, recalibrate your strategy, and put in that action to get to where you want to go.
Well, I want to give you a plug because I'm a believer in what you have been sharing, because I've seen it, and not just in myself, but in other individuals. That you put the work in, it works.
Yeah.
So follow Dr. Avis. You need, if you know somebody that wants to be an entrepreneur, that's kind of on the fence. They have a great vision and they're trying to push it, but there might be getting some naysayers in there and they're struggling with it. You need to follow her, sign up for the course, sign up for the classes, go through it. She does at least once a quarter, at least.
Yeah.
At least when I've been watching. And even when you're doing it, watch the process. I mean, the process, like, that's even why I went to you in the first place. I want to see your process.
Yeah.
And I saw your process, like, ooh, this is just the shop. So let me get some more of this. Girl, me too. So that's the first thing. I think the second thing is, I want to make sure that that the guests that I bring on this show, they're going to offer you some value. This is some really good nuggets that you're getting of what, even what Dr. Avis is putting out there. So make sure you're following, send it to your group, because this is not about me. This is really about sharing gifts of who I get to run with every once in a while. Third, I'm so glad you said that about this, helping people get from one level to the next level and trying to meet people where they are, because I've been kind of MIA for a little bit because I've been taking care of my parents and going back and forth. So I haven't been on all the time. And the last session I listened to was that session. So I'm golden. I caught up. I'm caught up.
You're already.
I'm all caught up.
I understand how that is, because I have my mom here. It's a different stage of life, when you have those responsibilities of taking care of parents, but absolutely.
Yeah. So so I'm like, oh, good. I'm good now. I'm good. Yeah, pop the collar. So I have a new segment in the show before I let you go, and that is called JR's Rapid Six. They're great questions. They're fun questions. They're easy. You've been on the show, so I'm not even worried about you, because
I hope I don't embarrass you, because it's no telling what's gonna come out of my mouth.
You're not gonna embarrass me. If I start blushing, we're in trouble. And then you get to ask me six. So you go.
Okay.
If you want to ask me six too. All right. Okay. These are very, very simple. Just kind of fun things we do. So okay, here it goes. Dun-dun-dun-dun. JR's Rapid Inspire Six. Yeah. Red or white wine?
I don't drink.
Okay. So what? Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi, because I'm boycotting Coke because.
Yep. Got you. Okay, I should have said something else. I should have known that. In the mountains or on the beach?
Beach.
Okay. Favorite movie snack?
Nachos.
No, okay. The mantra, your favorite mantra or quote you often say the most?
I will do what it takes to succeed.
I will do what it takes to succeed. The next place you will visit after lockdown?
Man. Well, let me put it like this. Can I say two things? Because I know I have to go for business. I know I have to go to Miami and Colorado for business. So maybe I can visit you, JR.
Colorado. Come on.
Yeah. But in terms of pleasure trips, I would love to go back to Zanzibar.
Okay. Oh man, I haven't been there. Okay. Top 3 songs on your playlist.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Okay. Top 3 songs on my playlist are Diva. By, I know it's kind of old, y'all. It's not new. I'm an old head. Beyonce. I would say maybe Change Is Gonna Come. Sam Cooke.
Sam Cooke.
And let's say maybe, honestly, the little theme song I have for myself that I play in my master classes. I love that song.
I got my own theme music. I have my own theme
I have
music.
my own theme song. Okay, I'm gonna just go ahead.
You were watching I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. That's what it was. So if you got 6 for me, you can say they're 3 or 5 or whatever it wants. I'll answer them real quick.
Okay. What is the best fraternity in the world, John Register?
Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. R.
No, there are no fraternities more enthusiastic than y'all. I will give that to you. Y'all are very enthusiastic people. Okay. Let's see. John, what is your favorite movie?
The Incredibles.
Really? Oh, that is a good movie. Okay. What's your favorite song?
Oh, wow. That's a deep one. My favorite song of lyrics wise is probably Lift Every Voice and Sing.
Oh, that's deep. That's very nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Okay. I don't know if you can answer this quickly, but I'm just curious. How did you get your wife to say yes to go out with you on your first date?
Do you know the answer to this?
No, I don't.
Oh my God. It's in my story. I share this.
Oh my God.
Okay, so this is how it happened. She wouldn't date me. I was a senior coming in. I was going out. She was a freshman coming in. She was working at Pomfret Hall. And when she went to go check the mail, I was like, oh, I got to get to know that lady right there. And she wouldn't give me the time of day. I come down with my muscle shirts on, my spandex, everything from track practice. He only want one thing, girl. So I took her to church.
Uh-huh.
I figured, and that wasn't because I was religious or anything at the time. It's because I had a solo in the choir.
Oh, wow.
And so she sat in the front row, and I took the microphone and I walked down and I started in and I said, Mary had a baby born in Bethlehem, and every time the baby would cry, she'd rock him in a weary land. So yeah, and after that, I had my first date.
Yeah, that is a great story. I didn't expect all that. Okay,
that's how we met.
Last question, because there's no answer that's going to be better than that. That's great.
That's it. Thank you. Yeah, that's it right. That's how we met.
Sweet.
And like in Living Color said, the Wayans, like for Kim Wayans, she said, "We still together."
That is so sweet.
Still together.
Aww.
Yeah.
Black Love. We're gonna have to figure out a way to get y'all on the Black Love show.
Oh, hey, it was. I mean, we have our moments, but at the same time, after the scare this year, because I almost lost her to COVID. We just are making every day our best days with each other. So that's something that's into my tapestry now, right? It's solidified in there. So yeah. So thanks for asking that. That's great. You got me all mushy and gushy now, man. All right.
Okay, got it.
Bruh.
That's so sweet.
So how do people connect with you? How do people connect?
Yeah. Well, I would say that maybe the best way is we do have another masterclass coming up at the pretty soon. So listen, just go to perfectmediapitch.com. That's really the best way, because that will allow you to not only experience how we teach about media, and we don't do it around just media. It's from the perspective of entrepreneurs. I like to say, if you can reach millions, you can make millions. So it's teaching people how to utilize the media to be able to bring more leads and more bank to their bottom lines in their businesses. So just connect with us at perfectmediapitch.com, and that will also take you over to our private Facebook group.
You all put that in the chat, put that out there, because I'm telling you, it is worth its weight in gold for sure. I will tell you just a quick story before we wrap up. Is I have followed and just kind of looked, and because I don't like reinventing anything either, so I just copy whatever Dr. Avis is doing. I just do it. I just do what she does. And I just brought on board a PR person, and already she's gotten like set it up. It's got, okay, I got you this article, I got you this television, I got this. I'm like, okay, that's good. We're gonna get you the perfect media class, master class.
Yes.
But she's already doing. I mean, she's crushing. But that is a direct setup, to expand the team from what I've learned. What I learned, because I can't do that stuff. I don't even want to learn how to do it. I want to bring somebody on. And I told her she couldn't say no. She said, I don't have the time to do this. I said, so I just started pushing her work.
I love it. I love it. Absolutely.
So thank you so much for being on. And I know you got to get ready for your class. And I'll be there this evening. So I really do appreciate you taking time and stepping in, filling in all, of course, of what you do in the grace of Dr. Avis.
Thank you. And it's my pleasure. Great speaking with you, JR.
Absolutely. Okay. Thanks. And I'll talk to you a little bit later on tonight. Okay, everybody, that's Dr. Avis Jones DeWeever. Can you believe it? We had her on. What a great show. She always is such a gracious individual, and she dropped some really great nuggets there for you too. So all this month, we have been honoring people, and she has been no short on that. Here's one of the quotes. Remember, I love this quote right here. It is, and the day came when the risk to remain tight in a bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. I'm saying this at the end of every one of my shows now because, hey, thanks, Richard. Because that's Anais Nin, and what an amazing, we often won't grow because we're trapped. We feel trapped in this bud, but when we have the risk to blossom, we just blossom and our flower can show through. And I also say this, my quote is this: when truth outweighs fear, we commit to a courageous life. When truth outweighs fear, we commit to a courageous life. You are the inspirations. Remember that. Inspiration is the catalyst to motivation. Motivation in turn causes action. Actions lead us to transformational results, and these results, they re-inspire us or allow someone else that's watching the process to catch the vision. Join me next week. I have another fantastic guest who's going to be on the show. Go forth and inspire your world. And we'll see you next Thursday. I'm probably going to move the time to 3:30 because I like this time a little bit better. All right. Go forth, inspire your world. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.